Yo, what's up? Welcome. So today I'm gonna be running the new Freya, the green Freya, Summer Freya, right? A lot of people I see, I hear talking about, has a lot of mixed reviews for her, and certain play styles that they say might not work. But for me, I can see like a decent amount of workarounds, so we are gonna be using her. Like I normally run this team with Red Freya. That's my main team. But I'm just gonna switch Green Freya in to show that it is possible. The first part of her passive does not work, but the bottom half does. So we do get the extra damage, and our skills does remove the debuff once it crits. So yeah, that does work in here. Same for the relic, that procs as well. We got two single targets. That's where people find like the problem would be. So same exact gears that I would normally run on my main team. I changed nothing, and then we slotted in green for red. That's all. The main concern I see for Summer Freya in Nid is probably her having two single target cards where in floor 3 you need to hammer her so you don't stack darkness. But for me, I don't see that being much of a problem with this team because your main focus for getting hit on that phase anyway will be Tarmiel. So we should be glossing over that anyways. So we can literally skip attacks whenever we want. And we are able to remove stances more frequently and don't really have to wait for cards with her. Well, that's in my eyes. That's what I envision while using her. The starting up DPS is always going to not be that great. We got to start proccing, building it up until she just goes nuts. Like, it's already good, but once it ramps up, it ramps up. Like, you do normal plays, you just stack your relics, you stack your buffs, get your team better stats, keep moving on, push it as much as you can. If you use this team, you should know how it's gonna go. You basically stack everything up to a point that you can survive. So when you heal for max HP, or at least close to max in Freya's case. Didn't really pull any Freya cards here, so it's unfortunate. We're gonna be doing less damage because we can't really remove his gray buffs. But the good thing about having like two single targets, like no matter what card you pull for her, you can remove stances. Like no matter what happens, you're always gonna most likely have one of those in your hand, which is I see is a huge plus. RNG right now has not been too great to me. Luckily, I saved that stance removal because we were not pulling one more. The more we pull extermination cards, the more DPS we put in. Like the extermination cards is the one that does way more damage, but the pierce itself does not hold back too much. It's not like a dead card in your hand. Like 252 level 1 Pierce card? Like, come on. That's pretty good. No level 3, so we're just gonna like chill it out for a bit. Just burn some cards and we kill next turn easily. Make sure we have full HP when going through as well. Because you don't want to have like... If you are lower ults, lower like not best sets, you want to be maxed HP no matter what, right? So always take that extra step to fully heal up before going through. Yep, and we just heal, and that's floor 1 easily, no problems whatsoever. I don't see you getting like floor 1 and 2. I don't see any problems at all. Like the only thing, there might be something on floor 3, but we're gonna see for sure. Usual no crystal drops, gotta love it. Also, one thing I think is very underplayed. People understate, like, when you attack with her, you get a free remove of a debuff as well. And I think that counts for something. It really does. Especially for like phase 2. We don't really need to cleanse after removing stances because it's gonna automatically be removed, right? As long as we crit. So that's an aspect I think some people just don't look at. Also, I like healing them before going through. Most of the times for like this phase 1, because I don't want anyone else being really targeted other than Tarmiel. Tarmiel is my main guy for being targeted. As long as that's like constantly happening where he's being the one getting hit, I should have no problems really going through anything. Like right here, simple. I just attack twice. We would get like the infect, right? But as long as we crit, we remove that infect easily. Don't really need cleansing just to remove that infect. Don't want to go through too fast as well. It's like, because you can kill this easily with her. Like the damage she does, you just go through it so fast. So yeah, that infect being normal red infect, it's a nothing burger right now. Easy 390 level 2. Pierce cut as well. Same for this, I think. The phase 3, your focus is probably just getting full heal to get out. And that should be it. Like, your DPS is pretty much up there, so you should not have like a lot of problems at all. I think she literally has no problems hitting crazy amounts of damage. So surviving and keeping your team at good HP is more of a problem than actually getting good damage in. You gotta make sure and hold that buff, that cleanse just for this phase. Because if it's gonna be slower and you know you're not gonna be able to push through instantly, make sure and have that cleanse. Because you don't want to be in a bad position where you can't completely kill and heal in that same turn. Because you're jeopardizing your floor 3 run at that point. Like right here, I play differently, so I end up holding the heal because I know we can survive a turn. So now it's all about just getting that heal and just getting the kill, moving on with full HP, so you get a proper floor 3 starter. Because you don't want to have like trash HP to going in floor 3. So you don't have to worry about extra BS. Get that full HP because you can probably kill her with... You can probably kill the boss with her DPS. No crystals yet again. I love drops in this. Or you're just that lucky. Like that's the thing. That's probably the thing I have the most problem with on this boss. Getting crystals to drop for me. Floor 3 start. I love using the Margaret buff first. Because he does not remove it or anything. And we gotta keep it for 2 turns. That's a good stack. Only phase I do this on. Also, I always try to play in this specific order. I try getting Liz's ult by the time before he can ult, so we can push my ult back 1 turn after when we gotta remove the stance. So we cycle and we move ahead that exact turn. Now right now it's just about healing, getting some extra stats. Make sure and hold the stance removal in hand. If you don't get back one, don't use it. You can use as long as you have one in hand. This is my same play for red Freya, so I'm using it for green Freya. Same thing for a better cycle into phase 2. Yeah, so I normally heal here. So I start pushing their ults. I want 3 ults. Then I re-push to get my Liz's ult 1 more time. Then this following phase. To follow through to phase 2 in the other turn. Like right here, I have 2 extra heals. So that's pretty good. I just use that. I move Tarmiel card. So I hold on to his hit specifically. I fully heal up. I have a Liz ult. I got everyone's ult. So that's transitioning to phase 2 now. It's always going to be in the same exact phase. So it's going to be 3 ults, then Liz. And I keep the Tarmiel hit specifically because you cannot buff on the turn 1 of phase 2. And you need a hit for him so he does not get darkness. This is where every card of Freya being a single target comes into play. Like, the higher, yes, it's a lot more likely that you can't really attack her too much on this phase, but having a point where you can use any one of her cards to remove a stance when needed instead of having to wait to pull it. It's a I think it's a win-lose situation, but if you can manage it, it will work out in your favor. And it's not that hard to manage, especially if you're having Tormia being the one getting hit every single time. And all you need for Tormia to not die is just keep him as low, keep him with the lowest amount of darkness as you can. That's it. And it's pretty easy to just, you can coast this entire phase through without even really having to burn a lot of Freyja's attack cards either. Because you will see, there are turns where I just straight up choose not to use her, even though I have cards for her. So I don't mind stacking some darkness on her. It's not really much of a problem. There's no way she can die if she's not being targeted. And pay attention to which buffs, like which cards you have that drops his bar faster, so you can know which cards to cycle on so you don't overkill. You don't want him to be at 0% on his bar, because that's going to be bad for you. And don't forget, if you do get it over a certain point, you can literally reset. Just quit out, come back and redo your play. Just make sure he doesn't get like that extra DPS on you. Like one darkness is not going to kill you. Like I check here, we got recovery. So using the one recovery is more than enough to get it down. Then we all, that's one more, get it through, and that's GG's phase 2 very easily. We were nowhere close to even dying. So phase 2 is not really a problem if you manage your plays properly. Make sure you know who's getting hit, and you use Freya sparingly. And now onto where you can just spam her cards, like where you actually need damage, so you can just use her as much as you want here. Hit that 75% or more, get that 25% bar every turn. And now they just spamming me with her cards. They're literally about to D-rank my cards while I'm gonna be able to get ult. So I'm trying my best to push my ult in a way so when he D-ranks me, it re-emerges so I can re-get my ult. Make sure and get that 75%. Yeah, that is very important. Just getting it down in 4 turns is just super good. Like, there's no reason for you not to push it if you can. Just use the cards. Don't really hold back much, especially if you're getting ults. Cycle through them. Just keep cycling it. Because 1/6 Freya, even at this, she does a lot of damage. Because I've been using 1/6 Freya for a while. Yes, she's not great as 6/6, obviously, but it's still pretty good. Just because she's 1/6 does not mean you should just keep it and treat it as like a normal card. No, it's still an ult and it still does a lot of damage. for this ult, there's no explosion, so you don't really need to hold cleanse for this ult. So it is whatever. You do take a little more damage, but it's fine. I just opt for like, let's get that percentage and we kill next turn easily. Because we're getting her ult back anyway. 2 cards where like her ult plus 1 card is literally GG's. Even if you pair her with like multiple ults, that should be more than enough to kill. Actually insanely close. Normally it does not get that close. Man, this should be GG's. All in all, she works pretty well. I don't see much of a drawback for using her. Like, we still stacking stats. We still get this done reasonably easy in good time. You could, there might be some ways you can say it's a little slower because you do get like less attack related stats, but you do get normal stats over it, right? No crystals yet again. GG's, I guess. That being said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one. Peace.